Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. The air is filled with the scent of fresh bread and the sound of street performers. It's a typical day in the city of justice, but there is an underlying tension in your mind. You're meeting Arlecchino, the woman you love and the harbinger of the Fatui, at a quaint cafe by the river. Now, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that, except there were several wrong things in your relationship, like how you initially got close to her, just to get intel on the Fatui. It was not right in any way, and not something you like to think about a lot. How you fell in love so fast, and how Arlecchino seemed to trust you. But little did you know, Arlecchino was not someone to trust easy. She knew your plan from the very start, and she knew just what you intended. And yet, she let you fall into a trap. She was curious just how far you would go and how much you were willing to lie. And sadly, she found out her answer. As you approach the cafe, you see her already seated, sipping a cup of tea with an air of elegance. Her dark, piercing eyes scan the surroundings before logging onto you. You feel a rush of warmth and a twinge of guilt as you make your way to her, and she smiles. But there is a hint of something deeper within her gaze today, something you can't easily figure out, no matter how hard you try. "You're late," she says, her voice smooth and commanding as always. You laugh softly, taking a seat across from her. "Oh, you know how it is. I missed the first aquabus." She arcs an eyebrow. "Always an excuse, isn't there?" And you chuckle nervously, trying to brush off this unease that creeps up your spine. You have no idea why she's talking like that. "Come on, Arlie. You know I wouldn't miss our date for the world." She leans back, her eyes never leaving yours. "Of course not," she says softly, almost to herself. And you get the sense that something, just something may be wrong and you don't know what it is. The waiter arrives and you order your usual. And as the waiter leaves, Arlecchino's demeanor shifts slightly. There is an intensity in her eyes that you have never seen before. A coldness that sends a chill down your spine. "I have something to ask you," she says, her voice low and measured. You swallow hard, the feeling of dread growing stronger. "What is it?" She leans forward, her eyes boring into yours. "Just who do you work for exactly?" Your heart skips a beat. The question hangs in the air, heavy and accusatory. But it was the right thing to ask, unfortunately so. You open your mouth to respond, and yet no words come out. And the silence stretches on, the weight of her gaze pressing down on you. I'm not sure what you mean," you finally manage to say, her voice trembling slightly. She scoffs, a harsh sound that cuts through the air. "Don't play dumb. I've been watching you, Ayan, and I know very well that you're not who you say you are. I'm asking nicely. Who do you work for?" Panic sets in as you realize she's onto you. She knows. You had hoped to keep your true identity a secret, but it seems the Harbinger's instincts were sharper than you had anticipated. And you should have known. You should have been more careful, and you should have known that no lie could go on forever. Early, I can explain. You start, but she cuts you right off. Explain? What is there to explain? Her voice is icy, her eyes burning with anger. You are a spy, are you not? Sent here to gather information on the Fatui, and you thought that you could use me to do this mission that you had. You're a fool if I've ever seen one, she says, and your heart hurts. You are a fool, and you're an even bigger fool for loving her so much. So you take a deep breath, trying to steady yourself. Yes, I am a spy, you admit, your voice barely above a whisper. But I never meant to hurt you, Arlecchino. I loved you. I still love you. And she laughs, a better mocking sound. Love? Do you even know what that means? I have known what you've been plotting from the very start, and yet, I graciously gave you many chances to amend your mistakes, and you failed every single time. There is no such thing as love. No, you protest, leaning forward. My feelings for you are real. They always have been. She stares at you, her expression unreadable, and for a moment you think you see a flicker of something. Doubt, perhaps, or hope. But it's gone as quickly as it came. You expect me of all people to believe that, after everything? Perhaps you're an even bigger fool than I thought. I'll give you a chance right now. Since you're not a member of the house, you can go and never come back. My children wouldn't want to hear about your death. So do yourself a favor and leave. If I see you in Fontaine again, I will not hesitate to take action. And you know what that means. You knew very well that you had ruined everything you had. You were grateful you were even alive, and yet it felt like something in you had died, just as those words slipped from her mouth. You were no longer welcome here, not in Fontaine, and certainly not in her life.